RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Nice to see you. All right. I just had a little drama in the house. The cats were fighting. Poor little Boudica was just trying to hang out with Francis, and he was not having it. So, all right. We're late. I'm sorry about being late. Let me see. Yes, every sperm is sacred, Ed. And embryos are babies. Babies? They're just takers. Babies are takers. Get as long as maybe they could be soldiers or cheap labor. So, yeah, I'm so sick of it. I can't take it. I don't know. Okay, so what are we going to talk about tonight? Thank you for hanging out. First of all, let me just get that out of the gate. I want to say thank you to Charlie from APS Radio News. I'm sorry that the show was late. I'm not sure if this is going to be on there. That's fine. It is what it is. I know not everybody can hang around waiting to see if this show is going to go on the air on Wednesdays. And so, yeah. But thank you for your support, Charlie, and thank you for making me part of the APS Radio family. Also, the community cats that you help, that it means a lot. Something's going on. We're having drama in the house. Boudica's running. She's hiding now. Okay. So where do we begin? I'm not, we'll have a show. We'll have I'm trying to keep it, like in the realm of a couple of hours, and I want to thank Hernan, Hernan is the video guy. You might know him from the Mike Malloy show. He does videos for Mike Malloy. I know. See, I'm avoiding saying his last name because I know I will butcher it. Hernan Schulain. I hope I said that correctly. Well, he's been doing videos for this show now. Isn't that amazing? And I'm very, very appreciative. You know what I'm saying? Because that might help the channel grow. He's been doing shorts. He's been doing taking the videos and cutting them a little shorter, but also doing the shorts, which I'm going to take and put on TikTok too. TikTok. There's a lot of drama happening in the house right now. Junior. Hey. They're fighting. I'm sorry. I might have to play a video and separate them. Tara Junior. Hey. Cut it out. They're picking on her. They're picking on my baby booty. Stop it. You know better. She's little. She's smaller than them. It's like they're all ganging up on her. All right. I don't know what's happening. She's running for her life. Listen. Thank you for putting up with this. This is the way it is in Tarabuster Studios. If you can become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin, that might help. Maybe one day we'll have an actual show in a real studio. Maybe not. So thank you, Jim, for your super chat. That helps, definitely. And thank you, Ed, for your super chat. That helps, too. Right out of the gate with the cover charge. I really appreciate it. And, okay, so where do we begin? I know I'm going to have to stop the show in a minute. Something's happening. It's funny. Everybody has their issues, right? With personality clashes, or can't we all just get along? I don't know what I missed, but somebody pissed somebody off, and now they have their own relationships. People get mad at each other. People make up. It's the same thing with the cats. All right. Where do we even begin? Okay, I don't even know. So I was thinking about, what am I going to talk about tonight? There's so many things. It never stops. The, Traitor Trump, the friggin' Trump sneakers. the fact that the Republicans are Putin puppets. I mean, that's really the number one story. It's kind of disgusting. I'm so sick of them, and also the right wingers who are threatening civil war. The Trump cult. The Trump cult is real, and make no mistake, guys. They will have a problem when the con man loses. That's fine with me. I don't care. I want them to rebel. Because I was looking up, I was on Twitter. So I go on there. It's a cesspool now. Like everything else, right-wingers touch, they destroy. And they destroyed Twitter. Elon Musk destroyed Twitter. He turned it into the public square, a decent place, to go and talk and be a human being, connect, spread your opinions, but respectfully, not be a dirtbag, not be a Nazi, not be a piece of crap spreading Putin's talking points. Oh, fuck this. Cut it out. Enough. Stop it. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. You know what? What I'm going to do is let me play this video. Then I'm going to put him in the bedroom because it fits. They're fighting. Something's happening. They're playing. I don't know if they're playing. They're fighting. You know how it is. I think she's playing, but Tara Jr. is he's getting annoyed. So here, let's start with a montage of the filthy Republicans praising Putin. And while that plays, I'm going to put him in the bedroom.
Of the Russian?
I think he's done really a great job of outsmarting our country.
Putin even sent me a present, beautiful present with a beautiful note.
We just left Moscow. He could not have been nicer. He was so nice and so everything, but you have to give him credit.
Russia is they're really hot stuff. I think I'd get along very well with Vladimir Putin.
He's running this country, and at least he's a leader, unlike what we have in this country.
No, but again, he kills journalists that don't agree with him.
Well, I think our country does plenty of killing also, Joe. So,
Then he called me a genius. He said Donald Trump is a genius, and he's going to be the leader of the party, and he's going to be the leader of the world or something. He said some good stuff about me. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily. Vladimir Putin. Has anybody ever heard of Vladimir Putin? Of Russia. Yay! Says that Biden's, and this is a quote, politically motivated persecution of his political rival is very good for Russia because it shows the rottenness of the American political system. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said,
will you? Yeah,
like pay, you're delinquent.
Like any European leader said that. Sir, will you protect us? Sir? You don't pay. He's like Gollum. You don't pay your 2%. This is not even, we talked about this on the last show. There's no dues to NATO. He's an epic moron. He's a bottomless dirtbag. He is just the worst human being that's probably, I don't even know, is he the worst human being that's ever lived? It's, the competition is stiff, yeah, for sure. But he's in the running, for sure. He's not Hitler. See, Hitler killed 6 million, and, he killed ultimately 85 million because of fascism. That's what happens. And that's what Putin will do because he's not, if he gets his way and is able to take Ukraine, he's not stopping there. Like Hitler didn't stop in Poland. And the other thing I have to say before we continue is the last show we talked about that interview with Tucker Carlson and Putin and him going to the supermarket in in Russia, and getting so excited about how better Russia is, and how much America sucks. And I didn't see the whole Putin interview because I couldn't stomach it, and watched the Jon Stewart takedown of Tucker Carlson, and he literally rewrote the history of Hitler's invasion of Poland, saying that it was basically Poland's fault because they had incurred some territory, which is it's patently bullshit. We all know now. We know it was we want to talk about false flags. They attacked some. They had corpses dressed as Polish soldiers and attacked some radio station, or they made them into corpses. I think either they were prisoners, but it was a complete ruse to go in to invade Poland. And Putin, he spewed this lie that Hitler, it was comparing himself almost to Hitler, basically saying that, well, just like when Hitler invaded Poland, and because of the Polish incursion into whatever part of Germany supposedly the Polish people were incursioning on, and they and that effing traitor, the pasty-faced chicken-killing Tucker Carlson said, of course, just agreeing with him. Of course, everybody knows that that Hitler invaded Russia because, Hitler invaded Poland because Poland deserved it. Of course. It's the same bullshit he's saying about Ukraine. And Ukraine, they committed the sin of wanting to be a democracy. What business of that is Putin's? And there's Tucker Carlson making excuses for it. But to sit there and to look into this dictator's eyes while he rewrites the history of World War II and say, of course, how lower can you go? How disgusting can you be? But hey, I don't even like asking that question because they keep surprising us with how low they can go. And they're going very low. This is a Putin party. This is a Putin psyops operation, the Republican Party. And their refusal to fund Ukraine now, it's all coming from the Kremlin, and the Republicans are just simply repeating Putin's propaganda and doing exactly what he wants. When we promised Ukraine, this is a treaty that was negotiated, and these Republicans are basically they're doing Putin's bidding, leaving Ukraine behind, just like they leave the American people behind, and like they are destroying democracy from the inside with the help of Putin. They are really the agents of this authoritarian, America-hating dictator. And Tucker Carlson, sucking his ass. They all suck his ass. They all suck Putin's ass. And it's a disgrace. That's one of Trump's favorite words. It's a disgrace. Everything's a disgrace. But he's a disgrace. The Republican Party is a disgrace. They are an embarrassment. They're a shame to this country and a disgrace and an insult to everybody that ever wore the uniform or died for this country. It's really sickening to watch them genuflect and to simply gobble up the lies coming from the Kremlin, gobble them up and spit them out so easy because it fits their worldview, and because they have the same worldview, which is authoritarianism, which is everyone in their place. They hate gays. Putin hates gays. They hate freedom. Putin hates freedom. You know, right now in Russia, they're cracking down on anyone trying to memorialize or even think about Alexei Navalny. I can't, talk sometimes. Can't say names, but so. And for the Republicans to be like, oh, this is wonderful, but look at their train stations, look at this one supermarket, is a disgrace. They should be ashamed. And I really wish they would just fucking get out. You don't need to have a civil war. Nobody is stopping you. Go. You want a civil war? No. I mean, what if you had a civil war and nobody came? Just fucking leave. But the other thing is, if they're threatening violence, that's the other thing that all the Republicans are like, oh, we're having a civil war. I'm talking about the dumbasses who are somehow enthralled with this tax cheating, draft dodging, sexual predator con man who sells them now ugly, tacky sneakers for $400. And in the fine print on the sneakers, apparently, it says when you buy these or you put your money down for these sneakers, when these dumbasses buy these tacky made in China sneakers, and it says right there that in the fine print that they may not actually ever arrive. So, good luck, boobies. It's stunning to watch them, because another thing that came out is, because they're doing exactly what their traitor Trump Führer says that, tells them to do. But the other thing that came out is their whole attack, this impeachment inquiry on Joe Biden is unraveling, because they're fools, they're dupes, and they're traitors who do nothing but spread Putin's talking points. That's exactly where they got their bombshell from, right from the bowels of the Kremlin. And they so eagerly swallow it and regurgitate it to the idiots. And, so we'll have more video, but here, did I finish with
that
this?
happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills.
You got to pay. You got $20. You got to pay. Why don't you pay, Trump? We've been paying for him. He's a fucking parasite. He's a lump. And just to continue, what's the... there must be some kind of list. We always make lists, right? The worst this, the best dress, the whatever. What list? I mean, I know he's on the historians do the presidential list, the best presidents. Lincoln was number 1, FDR number 2, and then, of course, Trump is last. Of course he's last. Oh, it's fake news. Everybody's picking on him. He's last. He was close to last in the previous surveys, because Hitler caused 85 million deaths, and Trump, I mean, he was giving him a run for his money. He killed over 1 million Americans. That was more than the number of Americans who died in World War II. So he really who's killed more Americans than Trump? Really? Not only to kill Americans, he caused them to eat bleach and die a horrible death, gasping for air. Saying fake news, crying fake news into the air. Yeah, $400 for this for the sneakers, as Haiku says on the chat. Delivery not guaranteed. Exactly. Suckers. Dupes. Suckers are born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. And there's more of us. I know that this is the thing with the Trumpanzees. They live in an alternate universe. They are delusional. And because they live in a bubble and they don't get out much, they go on the internet. They don't go on the internet to learn anything. You know, you could do many things on the internet. You could learn. Now there's really no excuse to be an ignoramus. You can learn things. You can learn about other cultures. You can read the classics for free on the internet. You could study art. You could take courses in history, like from the greatest universities. All of these things. But that's not what the Trumpanzees use the internet for. They use it, well, besides, searching up porn and, depraved kinds of sexual titillating material. We'll just leave it at that. But they go there to circle jerk the Russian conspiracies that are being poured into their empty heads straight from the bowels of the Kremlin. Well, it goes from the bowels of the Kremlin into the leadership of the Republican Party, and then it trickles down into their empty gullets and their empty heads. But this time it's not unlike trickle down economics. This is a deluge. This is more like a wave, a flood of misinformation. And it's the other thing that pisses me off in general about them, because they're stupid, they're racist, they're idiots, they're easily, but it's just how easily played they are. That's what pisses me off. How easy they make it for America's enemies to destroy this country. And they really should be ashamed. The way they simply lick Putin's ass is absolutely shameful. This is a authoritarian. This is nobody to look up to. This is somebody that poisons and that kills and murders anybody who threatens his power. He goes into the sovereign countries, our allies' countries. Yeah, he'd come here too, I'm sure, and murders people. Recently, there was another dissident that was killed in Spain. He sent an assassin, and it's the telltale signs of Putin's assassins. They go into a country and they murder their target, and then they simply trash everything. They burn everything, and they found a car close by that was all burnt out. So they burn it out so there's no evidence left. And that's what they do. They're assassins. This is what Trump and the Republican Party, they want to turn our country into that. So we can have the illusion of prosperity, I guess, because there's the subway is nice. We have some nice subways here, but because there's piss in the fucking New York City subway that was built 100 years ago, but it doesn't matter. They're selling the false. They're selling their snake oil, just like Trickle Down was snake oil and is snake oil, just like everything else they talk, just like the culture of life is snake oil, just like everything that they stand for, like Nikki Haley saying that I think embryos are babies. It's all bullshit. Just like they say, we're pro-life. That is bullshit. They're not pro-life. They're pro-birth. They're pro-control. They're dividing people. Of course, they're so stupid. It's, oh, God, don't get me going. This is why I wish, don't get me going. It's only a show where I get going. But This is why I can't take them. But I really do wish that the Democrats would listen to the show and take our advice, take our talking points. It's not just talking points. It's the truth. It's fighting back with the conviction of being on the right side of history. You know, we're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy. This is the way we close the show, and we talk about our taglines. But it's true. We're on the right side of these things, and there's nothing to be ashamed about. The fact is, everything that Republicans talk about, they're full of shit. For example, I don't even know where to go. That's why I'm all over the place. It's crazy. There's so much going on. There's so many receipts. I was on Twitter. I'm just trying to find it. I have like 1,000 windows open here. And, right before I went on air, because I always go there to look and see, like, if anything, what's changed, in 15 minutes. It did something, it could be anything, a mass shooting. This is the way it is here in the United States of serfs and lords. So I stumbled upon this tweet because I was watching some of the Trump ends. I was watching Trump NZs talking about civil war. They're all like, we're gonna have a civil war, and these truckers for Trump, there's some videos going around and of course you can never believe what you see when it comes from right wingers, because it could be coming from the bowels of the Kremlin. One, and the other thing is that they are notorious for deceptively editing things, and so you don't know what you're actually looking at. They'll intercut some trucks going down the highway with a bunch of dupes, like a close-ups of dupes, waving a made in China Trump flag or whatnot, and say like, oh, look at all these people here, but it's video from something, some friggin', some other event that has nothing to do with what they are saying you're looking at. They do this all the time. And so you don't know. So there was this video of trucks driving down and people waving, because they're saying that they're going to boycott New York. Good. I know some truckers who watch the show that would gladly, take up their contracts. You don't want to come to New York. See, the world looks at New York. New York is famous. The New York skyline. People want to come and visit New York. They want to see the skyline. They want to, no one wants to go to your shithole hovel and see the moon over the meth lab, right? They want to come to New York. So we're so scared. We're gonna run out of bread. This is what I keep seeing on Elon Manchild Musk's Twitter. They're saying, you better stock up, New York. Okay, really? I'm so scared. All of a sudden, yes, New York. They're so upset that the con man is being held accountable. This is how stupid these people are. He cheated on his taxes, dum-dums. You cheat on your taxes. See what happens to you. You inflate the size of your residence to go, let's say you go try to get a loan. You say, I don't live in a one-bedroom shack. I live in a mansion. See what happens to you. Right? But if you're Traitor Trump, you cry and you whine and you get others to pay the price, because this is what he does. He's never been held accountable. But I don't know. What's your damage? What is the damage of these filthy Republicans? I don't get it. How stupid and how easily played they are. Is it the Trump Network vitamins? Did they take too many of them? The non-FDA approved Trump Network vitamins that were a scam, another scam that he had, a less well-known scam. I'm not sure why that one gets less attention. It's equally stupid and vile. And what billionaire is involved with a multi-level marketing vitamin scam? Anybody know how many actual billionaires are involved with put their name on a multi-level marketing vitamin scam where everyone went bankrupt, but the con man, apparently he walked away and left everyone holding the bag. That's what he does, because he's a coward, he's a greedy parasite, a grifter, and suckers are born every minute. It's incredible. But anyway, so the point that I'm going around and round getting to is here's this tweet I came across right before we went on air. Let's see if I can just isolate that tweet. There's so many windows open. It's hard to do. Let me see. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry, guys. What the hell? It doesn't matter, right? Let me show the whole screen then. I have too many windows open. I can't find it. Thank you for being you. Oh, here it is. Thank you for your patience. This is how, I appreciate it. You make Tarabuster. You make Tarabuster a show. All right. Here's the tweet I'm talking about. I don't know who this person is. They're not. Don't put me down ever. It could be a bot. It could be right. This could be from the bowels of the Kremlin. How do we know? We don't know, because Elon Manchild Musk has made it incredibly easy for fake accounts, bot accounts. He's made it easy for Putin to spread his fucking lies on our and inject his wants. He wants the con man to be elected, and Elon Musk, Manchild Musk, and these right-wing billionaires, they're making it. They want that too, because they want an authoritarian society. They don't like freedom. They don't like sharing civilization with others, especially with darker pigment. So they tickle the racist funny bones of the morons so they can have a free ride off all our backs. That's what it's about. They don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to pay their price of admission to a civilized society. They want us to pay and stay in the fields, not complain. They want to get rid of all our lifelines, cut the lifelines, cut the investments in each other, and then we'll get back to having a country the likes of which the founders fought a revolution to overthrow, where the rich run everything and everybody else is in their place. This is what they're up to. They're not just rolling back the New Deal, the progressive era. They're not just rolling us back to those times. It's not just 100 years. They're rolling back the American Revolution. They're rolling us back to the Dark Ages. That's the end game of Republican policies. Education becomes a providence of the rich again. Why do you need to be educated? We take it for granted now that we run into everybody, rich and poor. We take it for granted that they can at least read basic English, right? This is a new phenomenon in civilization, like a little over 100 years old. There was no guarantee in the 19th century that you would run into people who knew how to read, especially if you were a worker. And then you go back further, the less likely it was for people to be educated, to people to be able to read. Why would you need to read? Because you don't have to read. Just get in the field. You don't need to read to like go dig a hole, to go plow, to go, lay some bricks or whatever. And that's the way they want it. They want us to be dumb and at each other's throats. This is the oldest tricks in the book. Divide and conquer. Freedom is, the Republicans are like, freedom isn't free, but they hate freedom. Freedom for me, for them, no, freedom for me, not for thee. But in their estimation, in their what they define freedom to be, is the freedom to hate, the freedom to kick down on trans people, to attack gay people, to shove their version of the sky spook down people's throats. That's freedom to them. To say the N-word, to hate who they want to hate without being expected to, have the at least basic maturity to function in a free democratic society. See, a free democratic society expects things from them. It expects them to behave like decent human beings. And if they can't muster that, to at least shut their filthy mouths. That's what they're upset about. That's why they're always like, oh, we're canceled. I can't, PC, feminazis, right? Everybody, they're picking on us. We can't hate. We can't do what we want. We can't, we can't put people in their place. It's so, this is just so transparent. But for people who are, they see all the conspiracies everywhere. They never see the one that is as old as recorded history, the one right in front of their faces. Yes, that's what's going on, right? What are the odds? They're all across the country, in all different jurisdictions, in all different states, there's a deep state of judges and prosecutors and attorney generals and people, women who are accusing this poor put upon serial bankrupt con man with a fake university and a vitamin scam. They're just picking on him. And all over 61 courts and different jurisdictions laugh their bullshit of stolen election out of court because it's all a conspiracy. It's a friggin' conspiracy. Because, that's who they, and it's the conspiracy. That's why every state is in control of their, running the election. So in the Republican conspiracy, all of these different states stole the election from the con man who received fewer votes every single time. Everybody stole it from him. All right, what's the Occam's razor? Either everybody stole it, all these conspiracies all over the country, or that they can't prove, by the way. Whenever they're asked to actually have evidence, we get nothing. And then they go on their propaganda channels to complain. Oh, everyone's picking on us. Everybody's lying but the liars, right? But, yeah, that's the conspiracy. Like, what's the Occam's razor? It's that all these, all these different jurisdictions they got together secretly to conspire against the con man with the fake university, with the fake charity, with the fake multi-level marketing fake vitamin scam, where you had to pee in a cup, and then they sent you some sham sugar pills for I don't know what it was, $150 a month. Stupid. Well, yeah, all of the one who with the serial bankruptcies, the one whose daddy had to bail him out 5 times, and invented an entire origin story that said that he got $1 million from his daddy, and that's how he built his empire of shit. And we know that's bullshit. So all the lies. Yeah, the best sex I ever had, said trophy wife number 2, which was bullshit. The guy who used to call the reporters in New York as a publicist, John Barron, that guy, saying how what a wonderful, great guy, how everybody loves him. Everyone wants to date him, from Madonna to the moon, to the man in the moon. They all want to see his shorter, smaller than an average, manhood. Well, he doesn't have any manhood. So what's the odds, right? What's the Occam's razor? It's that the lifelong con man isn't man enough to accept and respect the peaceful transfer of power, or everyone that had integrity, went to school, built themselves up, all these different diverse people from all over the country in different jurisdictions that have nothing to do with each other, that never met each other, that don't know except they know the law. They're all conspiring. They all got together to go like, look, hey, this con man who's failed, who's a serial bankrupt, tax cheat, paid $750 one year, and the other years he received millions in a tax return because he declared the biggest loss, the greatest loss of every single American taxpayer. It's incredible. But they're let's get together and come up with the way to keep this amazing person who sucked at everything else he ever touched, but now is the best president that ever squatted in the White House despite receiving fewer votes. We got to stop him because he's a danger to what? He's a danger to our what? Deep state that wants people who have the same peepee. They want to form a legal marriage contract, and if you don't like it, don't fucking come to the wedding. So anyway, it doesn't make any sense to anybody who's normal, but this is the times in which we live. So to get to the point here, look at this. This is some woman, I don't know, Julie. It's not a woman. I don't even know. It's a bot. It's a Russian psyops. They might even be looking at the show right now. You know, one of the idiots that, I don't know, put me on a prank bot list, but I don't get it because I have a what do you call it? Very good spam. There's very good spam filters out there. So they waste their time signing me up for things. I only see it after I go through the reviews, and I'm keeping note of it in case I have to. I was thinking of filing a police report because it is harassment, and but anyway, and I'll just maybe have it to cover my ass when and if I decide to, I don't know, press charges, go after them. After a while, you can't. These are violent people that are unhinged. But anyway, so this psyops this fake account, Julian's Rum. Yeah, look how real that seems, right? This totally looks and seems like a true, actual human being right here. Julian's Rum. I don't know what that. Oh, that's an illustration of a shot glass with ice cube. And then what is this? I don't know where that comes from. Who's that? Something they. Who knows? Don't put me down ever. Oh, and they joined in January 2024. That's a telltale sign. They have 1,000 subscribers to the Substack. And they're... this is I don't know. I'm just giving an opinion. I bet if I reached out and I asked, how's the weather in Russia? You know, I might find out. Right? I mean, this is what they do. It's like right-wingers forever and ever in their think tanks. This is, you know, we know they ruin they destroy everything they touch. One of the things they would do all the time was rewrite Wikipedia. That's why you can't trust Wikipedia, which was created as a very good idea, but because Republicans suck and facts have a liberal bias, they spend their time. They would rewrite things, and they have all these, and we used to talk about it. I have ads that from years ago. I have screen grabs of these ads from on Craigslist looking for people to post on liberal blogs with but having a conservative argument. So, you know, they would call them paper posts, and then they would also, during the election, they would call up, it's like these people being paid to call into radio shows and whatnot to give the class war against working people that seeming average Joe stamp of approval. But anyway, so here's what this fake ass, Russian psyops Twitter account says. Step 1, make the military woke to lower recruitment of American citizens who respect the Constitution. Step 2, staff the military with illegals who don't respect the Constitution. As if that happens. Step 3, deploy the military to forcibly remove Americans' constitutional rights. Step 4, civil war. In what world is any of this happening except Putin and his Republican co-conspirators? They're trying to bring this to fruition. Step 1, make the military woke. See, because the recruitment numbers for the military are lower now, but it's like these people, of course, they're idiots, and it's sort of like the flying spaghetti monster. The number of pirates, how do they put it? The flying spaghetti monster correlates the numbers of pirates. The lower, as the number of pirates went down, the world got hotter, so they create that. That is the connection. That's the correlation. It's, of course, to mock it, but this is the same thing. Make the military woke. What does that mean? You have gays in the military, right? Don't ask, don't tell is gone, and trans people can serve in the military, and they do and have forever and ever. And we've even talked about the intersex Revolutionary War hero who is the father of the American cavalry. So, okay. And if not for him, we might not even be a country, an independent country. So make the military woke. Not make it what? What does that mean? Make it woke. Make it not be racist. Not be to accept others. See, this is, I mean, in their world, diversity is the problem. But this is, it could, like I'm saying, be right from the bowels of the Kremlin. It sounds like it. So, but it's funny to listen to. This is why every day is opposite day in the Republican Bizarro world. Listening to so-called freedom, patriots or whatever the fuck, talking about respecting the Constitution while trying to shove a less vote getting con man who's only running for the presidency because he's trying to escape the consequences for his life of crime, to trying to shove that asshole into the halls of power again, illegitimately, illegally, despite receiving fewer votes. And they're lecturing us about the Constitution, respecting the Constitution. It's every day is opposite day. This is why it's crazy living in this time. It's enough to drive you friggin' batty, because it is, it's like the Republican Party's like, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you are, whatever you say sticks to me and, bounces off of me and sticks to you. That's what they are. That's why you hear Trump talking about, the fascists. The fascists they're everywhere. We got to stop the fascists. He's the fucking fascist. He's the fucking fascist. Right. And Civil War, honey, we don't care. Just leave. Just fucking leave. What if you have a civil war and nobody cares? See, I don't care. I want them to rise up. I really do. I want them to have a tantrum. I want them to shit their diapers and shit in the hall. Go back to the Capitol and defecate in the halls like you did and do it. We'll find room for you in a cell. There's plenty of cells. Thanks to Republicans, we have the most prisoners in the entire world. So per capita, right? It's the land of the free with the prison industrial complex. Nice to see you, Slugger Trucker. See, Slugger Trucker and our other trucker friend, Trucker John, will gladly take up your contracts for the Traitor truckers who don't want to come to New York. We don't want you in New York. You stink. We don't want you in New York. You don't know how to behave. We don't like you. See, the other thing is all on Fox News, they make me sick, of course, but they make everybody else sick. Worse than that. They're spreading this bullshit about Democrat New York they're giving illegals debit cards with millions and billions and zillions of dollars on it. Zillions. All these going to these migrants. And the fact is, we're the people of New York, because we're not monsters, are giving debit cards to the desperate people who are here, that the Republicans have sent up here to trick them and to somehow punish us, because they hate America. You see, they want us divided. They hate this country. I really do wish they would secede already, but that's another story for another day. I want them just take Wyoming or something. Take some of the land, right? Go to Russia, like Putin. I mean, like your Tuckio Rose is all enthralled. There's vast land in Russia because it's basically uninhabitable. Some parts is completely undeveloped. So go there. Take your so put upon asses to Russia. Live in a fucking dreamland where you can't, be gay. Whee! Isn't that wonderful? But they're giving, so the migrants are getting debit cards for baby food, for formula, diapers, things like that. And the fact is, that's your Republicans are like, embryos are babies. They don't give a shit. The embryos they're white babies. White babies. Right? And every dollar that is giving to the migrants to buy formula and baby and diapers and things like that is going right back into the economy. This is another thing that Republicans hate because they hate this country and they're stupid. They hate others. They hate, they're like, give me my Medicare. I want my Medicare. I want my Social Security. It's not enough. Social Security it's just not enough. They want more of the social safety net. I agree. They should, but they don't want anybody else. That's the problem. They don't want brown people or any person other than them or their whoever they think is deserving. And nobody with darker pigment is deserving in their eyes. Nobody is who's different to them. But whatever. That's why they're so very self-conscious and they're so, what is it? That's why they're having a tantrum, because they're babies. Ultimately, they have the emotional maturity of a schoolyard bully adolescent, collectively, and they're throwing a tantrum just like they threw the tantrum after Barack Obama was elected in the first landslide election. Remember, they all went to Washington. They were like, they shit their diapers. And that's where that bullshit AstroTurf Tea Party came from. It didn't rise up from the grassroots. It was funded by the Koch brothers. It was that launched this campaign to get the dupes to join in. Taxed enough already. They launched it with that fucking asshole. And what was he? It was on CNBC. Mr. President Obama, hey, can you hear us? Because there was, after the Republicans left another economy in smoldering ruin, as they do, in the second near Republican Great Depression, that was the Republican Great Recession, and we had to pass the Recovery Act. They that was all deliberate. When they went on there and it was like, do you want to pay somebody else's mortgage? Can you hear us? And then there they go again, dividing people up, dividing people. If you end up being duped, if in this bubble, this real estate bubble, and they sell you something that on a 1% interest, but then it goes through the roof and you've bit up more than you can chew, well, go fuck yourself. According to Republicans, let everything crash. That's where we were. So they had to bail out the banksters. This is a whole other story. I don't want to get into the whole thing because we'll go down that tangent. But their real problem was, well, they have a problem with everybody else but themselves, you know? They want all the benefits of civilization, but none of the responsibilities we have to each other. And they are very easily manipulated because they're ignorant. They are that's partly why they like the con man, because he is the walking personification of confirmation bias. He's a con man, but he basically gives them permission to be as stupid and ignorant as he is. See, they're like, oh, he's a dumbass, ignoramus, rapist, racist, like we are. And he pretends. I mean, like these people actually think he loves Jesus. Okay, it's incredible. Anyway, so where the fuck am I going here? Thank you. Anybody on other platforms? I see people on other platforms. We're over at youtube.com/cfachannel/Tarabuster. If you want to hang out in the greatest chat room in American history, join us over there. All right. I want to play this. Here, speaking of civil war, this is from TYT. It was, I think they posted it like 2 days ago or 1 day ago. It's an interview with the Proud Boys. Somebody in the Proud assholes. I mean, they're not, as Mike Malloy calls them, the proud pricks. You know what a Proud Boy is, by the way? I didn't know this because I love horses visually. I appreciate them aesthetically. But I didn't know that in horse parlance, that a Proud Boy is a male horse that's been castrated. And they call him a Proud Boy. He still walks around thinking he has balls, I guess. But it's pretty on target there. Thank you, Terry Taylor, for your super chat. And your cute little emoji of a fox or a cat with a heart. Very cute. Thank you, Terry. Okay, everybody's asleep. Boudica's asleep. Thank God. All right, here is... Oh, God, I hate them all. I'm looking at some of the names of the videos that I captured. One is Trump says he's Navalny. We'll get to that, I guess. It's such an insult. Ugh. All right, well, here's these TYT interviewing this castrated asshole. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Where's my e-cam? Here we go. So...
What is it that excites you about Donald Trump?
In Michigan?
You know, honestly, it's just because
assholes
really
flying in. Okay, I'm just describing it for people who are listening audio only. That sound you heard was the con man's plane arriving in Michigan. And here we go with the interview.
What is it that excites you about Donald Trump?
You know, honestly, it's just because we really don't have another candidate that's better. None at all.
We don't have another candidate who's better. Okay, here we go. He's done more for this country than anyone else. Really? Were you there during the pandemic? Did you see the mass graves? And the idiot telling people to inject themselves with bleach, and some of them did it? The ones, and then they were selling horse pills to these fucking morons, and they took them, where one of the horse pill, I can't even believe I'm saying this, the horse pill influencer, there was a horse pills influencer who would hype ivermectin all day, telling people, oh, I'm on ivermectin, I take it prophylactically. I take it as a precaution. It's my shield against getting COVID. The guy died from it. Because it might be a good horse pill, but it's not a freaking COVID cure, you stupid. But it gets worse. Listen, it might be a little hard to hear the guy. I don't know. He's talking kind of low.
In terms of what? Can you be specific?
He didn't get us involved in bullshit wars that we don't belong in.
Okay. This is one of the things I keep hearing from these assholes, and I'm sick of it because, of course, it's bullshit. That Trump, this is what they're spreading this shit, that Trump is for peace. That when Trump was the so-called president, despite receiving fewer votes, the world was in peace. Oh, he explains it a little bit more.
We don't belong over there. We need everybody we got home.
What do you think he should do if he's president again about Israel and Palestine?
He's going to pull everybody out. We don't belong over there. It's not our problem.
But fuck
you. More about what's going on here than over there.
We really don't have soldiers. Israel's fighting this against Hamas.
We need to stop giving them money too. We need to stop giving Ukraine money. They're a bunch of Nazis over there.
See, here you go. You hear? That's right out of Kremlin propaganda. That Ukraine. This is why they went into Ukraine. It's because there's Nazis there. Because that's one of the points of pride for the Russian people, how they fought the Nazis. And, I mean, every nation sacrificed, of course, but the Russians really sacrificed in World War II. They lost a lot of people because, of course, they were invaded, and Hitler and the Germans had an order to inflict or to engage in a campaign of genocide against the Russian people, and that's what they did. It was scorched earth. It wasn't just that they went and occupied a town or walked or even passed through a town. They leveled every town, and they would kill the citizens in the town. It was complete and utter, it was genocide. So that's... to say that there are Nazis in Ukraine is, of course, Putin's way of appealing to that patriotic pride of course, the duty, I suppose, that they might feel to ensure that Nazism doesn't resurge. So Putin is, of course, a filthy liar. They're talking about Nazis in Ukraine, that's why they had to invade. It was not just because of the fact that they don't like democracy or whatever else excuses they have, that, it's really it's always been a section of, it's just a piece of Russia, and they just want it back. Even though, who the fuck are you? If the people living in Ukraine want to have a government of their choosing, that's up to them. And if they want it to be a democracy, fuck you, Putin. That's basic. That used to be not too hard to understand for conservatives, but this guy saying that there are Nazis in Ukraine he's simply repeating Putin's propaganda, and that is, it's like saying, one of the things that they say, because there is there's like in one of the units in the Ukrainian army is a right-wing unit, okay? And they use that as emblematic of the entire Ukrainian armies. So that's like saying that the entire America, everyone in America is in the KKK, or everyone in America is part of the American Nazi Party, because we have problems with right-wingers in this country and in our military. You can't be a Nazi in the military. And when you go to the military, when you sign up, because I've been in the military, they look you over like, when you go to your physical, they go up and down your body. I had a mole removed on my chest here, and they saw the scar. And it had been removed like years prior, and I had to get the doctor to send a report that it wasn't cancerous, that it wasn't a cancerous mole. But the other thing is, they go and they catalog your tattoos too. So if you have any tattoos, that are, let's say, Nazi, you're not getting in, and they'll find it because you're standing there in your underwear, and they're inspecting you. So these fuckers. Anyway, the simple fact that they're repeating this bullshit Putin talking point is disgraceful and disgusting, but not unexpected, because the Republicans do the same thing. It's almost like you can't fault them to a degree, because they're getting it from their elected representatives are saying the same thing. Perjury Traitor Green says the same thing. They take Putin's propaganda, and this is not new, by the way. During the 2016 election and the 2020 election, every time Putin interferes in our elections and floods our social media here with all kinds of propaganda, divisive propaganda, the Republicans eat it up. They chew it, they eat it, they digest it. They don't think about it, but they spit it back out. And I'll try to find the article. They had examples of some of the memes and whatnot. It's, they make a lot of memes, and the Republicans, I'm sure you've probably seen them. These memes, these divisive, patriotic memes that came straight from Russian psyops. These people, they're not, the Russian assholes, they're not dumb. They know where the fissures of disunity are in this country, and they exploit them, like VP Henry Wallace warned us about. It's not only coming from the American fascists, it's coming from the American enemies. And the American fascists are using it and spreading it as if it's true. And this idiot, this sad, what is it? You got to be damaged, by the way. It's like the fascists, like the early adopters of the Nazis in Germany. A bunch of losers, all of them. After a while, of course, you had to be a Nazi or else, right? So the entire society had to fall in line. But, the early adopters were real losers. And that's who this fucker is. How many bad decisions do you have to make until you're a member of the Proud Boys, standing there saying, "Oh, there's Nazis in Ukraine," with your face covered up, of course. You're so proud, you have to hide. Oh, they're afraid, right? That's what it is. They're afraid to be canceled. They're proud, but I guess not so proud. They also don't know how to get their asses on the subway. I'm sure you saw that video. And the fact that they walk around with their faces covered is right out of the worst parts of American history. In what world are you the good guy? Going around with your face covered, threatening violence, When is that the good guy, right? Does that usually work out well for everybody? No, it doesn't work out well for the idiot in the fucking hood. It doesn't work out well for society either.
Story about what's going on over there.
Oh,
It's
yes.
sickening.
We all
Do
need
you
to
think
know.
that Biden has made it worse in Israel and Palestine?
He has made absolutely everything around the world worse. Not just our country, around the entire world.
Is there
Opposite
anything
day.
that Donald Trump could do now to lose your support for president?
Absolutely not.
I mean, what if he is convicted of these crimes?
If he's convicted of these crimes, then he's convicted. But
That doesn't bother you, though?
it does not bother me at all. No.
What about what he said the
I
other
don't care about
day
rape. I don't care about
NATO?
tax cheating. I don't care about pulling America out of here. Listen to this. Listen to this about NATO.
Agree that
Absolutely.
we should support Putin if he goes into another
Stupid.
NATO country?
Absolutely. If they don't pay,
If they don't,
we don't back 'em up.
pay, if they don't pay, again, dummy. There's no dues, you dumb fuck. But it doesn't matter. Now tomorrow, Trump can go out and say, "I never said they had to pay dues. I never said there were dues in NATO," because somebody informed him that there's no dues in NATO. You dumb fuck. And if that happened, the guy, this disgraceful proud prick would change. He would just simply change, just like Trump. They don't need to excuse it. They don't need to explain it. Whatever he says, which way this is the wind blowing. Whatever you say, mein Führer, right? If they don't pay, then we don't. Like the bottomless ignorance of these people to not understand, because they have no understanding of history. They have no understanding of reality, so why would they have an understanding of history? They get their history from memes. That's it. From memes that are created in the bowels of the Kremlin. These are graduates of meme. Well, they're not even graduates. They're meme university dropouts. They see a meme and they think they have it all understood. They've never read a book, that it wasn't written by a traitor. They've never read the Constitution. They've never studied the Constitution. They'll listen to the, like Steve Bannon, for example, who tells them whatever he thinks will turn them into traitors, just like him, just like he is, and they are. So they have no grasp of what NATO means. They don't have a respect for the democratic Western Alliance. They don't care because they hate university. I'm reading the chat. Derp University. Yeah, I see Jim. But because they hate democracy. It's not, when I say that, it's not just being hyperbolic. It's not a pejorative. I'm not simply, it's a statement of fact. They don't like democracy. This is their fundamental starting point. They don't like they hate everything about this country. They hate the diversity. They hate that we are a nation of immigrants. They hate the nation of laws. They hate the Constitution. They want an authoritarian daddy like Putin to give them fucking what? A subway? But crack their skulls. Try speaking out in Putin's Russia and see what you got. They'll drag your ass away. You're not, in Russia, they're not allowed to honor Navalny. Now, if Biden was such a tyrant like the Republicans insist, just send the army after these assholes. Round them up. Right? But that's what Trump has in store for us. Make no mistake. If he, like Tucker Carlson is dreaming for that kind of society, for that America. That's why he went to Russia and genuflected before the authoritarian dictator that kills journalists, that doesn't allow dissent, that is the antithesis of freedom. That's why he went there, to say, look how great it is here. When I think about that, it's almost like I cannot believe it. How the Republicans have debased this country. Yeah, they disgrace themselves, but they also debase this country by doing that. How does that make us all look when they have this lickspittle? When some fucking pasty-faced, chicken-murdering, trust fund brat lickspittle goes to your authoritarian country and licks your boots and is so giddy about, what is it, a fucking elevator that can bring a, what do you have, a shopping cart on an elevator? Like, woo! We have them here too. And he's like, look at this. You put a ruble in here, and then you have an incentive to bring your shopping cart back and not take it to your homeless encampment. Isn't he a piece of shit? This is somebody that never sacrificed a thing in his life. He never sacrificed lunch. He doesn't know what it means, to love this country. He's always been at odds with what America is striving to be. He's always been somebody who's criticized America, not to make it better, but to drag it back, to make it more unequal. I mean, could you imagine being so much of an asshole? Like Jon Stewart calls him a dick. He's a fucking dick. Have everything handed to you. You don't ever have to worry about anything. A bill. Nothing. You've never struggled. Ever. You've never had the stress of, I don't know, the worry of, what if I get sick? I have no health care. Or making ends meet with your 3 uniquely American low-paying jobs. Right? During the Bush administration, of course, that was fantastic. Uniquely American, ain't it? Yeah. Fantastic. It's fucking crazy. But it's a disgrace. I don't know. Has anybody seen what Tucker Carlson's reaction to basically, he's been universally reviled, this interview. If he was trying to make himself look like an actual journalist, he didn't come anywhere close. He's been mocked from not just sea to shining sea, but all over the globe. Right-wingers, left-wingers, even Putin himself mocks him for being his bitch. Because when you're somebody's bitch, when somebody takes advantage of you and you make it so easy on them, they have no respect for you. It's like the Trump cult. You think Trump has respect for these people? He hates them. They're embarrassing to him. You think he'd have this guy over for dinner? Like this famous dinner that Trump is saying, give me $5. You got $1? And be put in a lottery to win dinner with Trump. No, of course, no one ever won. Because it's another grift, like the sneakers. But, okay, here we go. Let's keep going.
Even like support Putin, who's going in and invading.
Absolutely.
He supports
Why support Putin and not support Ukraine and not support Israel or Palestine now?
Because Putin's real to everybody's face.
He's
not
real.
a bull like half these other government
Really?
officials around the world. These
He
elite
is?
guys that run everything.
He's real
and
to
have-
your face. That's why he murders you in darkness. He takes you to a penal colony in Siberia and murders you in the dark of night, but won't won't release your body to your mother so you can have a proper burial. He does it to your face. That's all done in the dark. And now apparently Navalny's brother is under arrest because his mother is pleading. She's silently standing outside the walls of the prison in basically begging them to give them the body of her son. So Putin responds with taking her other son away. Oh, that's so real, isn't it? These Republicans are disgusting. Anybody who votes for them, you should be ashamed. I'm not kidding. It's all of you. Now, I don't give a shit. You know, this is why I can't take the corporate media. You know, oh, up in the polls, down in the polls. This is what you're voting for, Republicans. All of it. You're taking it all. You're taking the whole bag. The whole bag of rats. You're taking the Putin puppets. You're not taking... None of them have any integrity. That's what you want? Oh, it was great. The country was great. When Trump was in office, really? It was great. All the mass graves, the income disparity, the tax cuts to the 1%, they were fabulous. Paid for by picking the pockets of the working class. Unbelievable. Nothing ever came to fruition except more division. He didn't do a thing for this country and left the country worse, like everything else he touches. But you want that, right? Because you believe the lie. What is it? What bullshit fantasy are you telling yourself? Tell me so I can set you straight. I can educate you about the truth. Oh, and somebody contacted me or whatever. They wrote on one of these streams. Oh, so, well, your point of view is the Democrats are doing everything right and the Republicans are doing everything wrong. It's not that the Democrats do everything right and that they're perfect, but they're not trying to, destroy democracy. They're not trying to turn you into a serf. Maybe some of them are, like Joe Manchin, but not all. And it doesn't seem to me that, in fact, Joe Biden is trying to do that. He's working for the working class in ways that I'm pleasantly surprised by, frankly. And it's not just Joe Biden. Well, he's old. I don't care. He's got a cabinet, and the cabinet is filled with experts, and the administration is staffed by people who know what they're doing, not somebody's, daughter-in-law or some lickspittle, like all the Republicans. Trump put that on steroids, of course, like everything else, because he sucks and he's basically Saddam Hussein. But the Republicans always did that, giving cushy jobs to their friends, but giving the jobs that you need somebody that knows what they're doing. For example, heck of a job, Brownie, right? During Katrina, you're doing a heck of a job, Brownie. That was George Bush's buddy. That had no business being the head of the FEMA. He was speaking of horses, he was like some horse breeder. but he was somebody's roommate during college, right? Something like that. And he gave money to their campaign. Oh, yeah, Biden really sucks. He's overseen job growth, manufacturing jobs, GDP growth, the increase in exports. In fact, his economy has a 4-3 edge over Trump in economic performance. I don't know what 4 or 3 means, but how they're saying that. Yeah. The winner is Biden. Yeah. We'll get back to the video in a second, but let's look at this. Here. Look, jobs. Look at Biden. This is so far. And it's not over yet, so there's Biden's job growth, even right out of the gate. Because when you when you cultivate an economy from the bottom up, it actually works for everybody. On 7 key metrics, Biden has a 4-3 edge. Biden bests Trump in overall job growth, manufacturing jobs, GDP growth, and exports. Trump wins on stock market performance, but this is an old article, by the way. It's not that old, actually. A few months. As I understand it, the stock market hit record highs. But it doesn't, the stock market, is that really the only metric? No. If the economy holds up during the rest of 2024, as most economists expect, Biden will sustain that 4-3 advantage in our tracking. We measure the current president's economy against prior presidents at the same point. The COVID pandemic dominated Trump's 4th year, wrecking his stats. Yeah, so what? There are ways he could have tackled that, you understand. He didn't have to be a divisive, lying piece of shit. You know? It could have been an opportunity to really unite the country under a common cause. But every time Republicans see an opportunity to divide, that's what they do. And of course Trump did that. He knows no other way. Yeah, so getting back to the asshole proud prick.
All of our government officials as a puppet, puppets.
They're
That's
all
what they all are.
puppets. Yes.
Supporting the Russian president is something that has not been American tradition, to say the least. To do that
Everybody's
seems
a puppet but
extreme
Trump.
to a lot of people. Why does it not to you?
To me, when you saw Trump and president,
Whoops.
Korea backed down,
Look
Russia
at-
backed down, everybody backed down. There was peace.
Everybody backed
Someone trying to
down.
pass-
To say the
Korea backed down. Do you hear this fucking guy? Korea backed down. No, he didn't. Korea just puffed up its chest because Trump gave him everything that he wanted. The tin pot little dictator, he gave him credibility for the low price of absolutely nothing in return. And this is the story. Every one of these videos I've been watching recently of Trumpanzees, the story is they are Trump is the peace president, right? Well, the fact is, and they're all like, oh, if Trump was in office, Putin he would never have invaded Ukraine because he wouldn't have to. Trump would simply pull us out of NATO and give Ukraine, let Russia walk all over Ukraine without even lifting a finger. Have at it, buddy. Pal, can I have my tacky hotel? in Moscow? Can I have my dirt bag? You know, that you will, of course, turn into a spy hole. Like, and in fact, I was reading something. Where the hell was this? I'm trying to remember. Where the American embassy being built in Moscow, that it had so many problems because the Russians were constantly trying to bug it, and in fact, you know, we had to have our own people come in and build it. But the anytime the Russians were involved, they would literally put the bugs into the building material, so it wasn't that you were laying down or whatever, however they build walls and whatnot, but it was like in the material. Of course, you're going to have an embassy in Moscow and you think it's going to be built by, without bugs? I got to look that up. I don't remember the whole story surrounding it, but I remember it took a long time because they always had to make sure all of the material that was delivered wasn't bugged. Fuckers. What do you think? What do you think? I wouldn't even be surprised if, when Trump met with the Russian ambassador the day after he fired Comey, and he was like back slapping him and laughing and, oh, everything's great now. I got rid of that guy. And what's stopping him from putting a bug right under the goddamn con man's desk? Well, I guess maybe you don't need a bug when you have a traitor that's openly giving you America's secrets without even asking. There's nothing in return. All you need is to say what a great, wonderful leader he was. Right? Promise him some money. Promise him, give him $20. That's all he wants. Give him some money. He'll sell your whole country. He'll sell his own mother. Fucking dirtbag that he is.
We don't hide from anywhere. Anybody. We're out here.
Look at him. Okay, let me go back. Which, of course, every day is opposite day. It's like them selling pictures of, selling merchandise of Trump's mugshot that says "Never Surrender." His mugshot of him literally surrendering is their symbol of no surrender. How is that even possible? Come on. Is this real? Where's Andy Kaufman? I keep expecting him to come out and be like, surprise, I'm still alive, and this whole thing is some elaborate performance art that I concocted. Isn't that great? Aren't I a genius? Really? How do you sell merchandise of somebody surrendering and use that as your emblem of never surrender? We don't hide from anywhere except we cover our faces like the shameful little bitches that we are. If you're so proud, why are you covering your face?
Up every patriot to make it so that we can't even organize as a group anymore.
What is your group? Because I see the D for Detroit Tigers up there.
We're Proud Boys. We don't hide from anywhere. Anybody. We're out here.
You don't hide.
Reason to hide. But the second they decide they want to
try...
You
hear that? We have no reason to hide. We don't hide from anybody. Why do you cover your faces then? We're not hiding. They want us to hide, but here we are. We're not hiding, except, hello. Do you realize you're hiding? Your face is, you're hiding your face. It must be. It's the level of cognitive dissonance required to think a con man with a fake university, a fake vitamin scam, a serial bankrupt tax cheat, a convicted rapist who received fewer votes twice, to think that guy is great because you saw him play a successful billionaire or businessman on reality television. It's nuts.
That's this bill. They're taking a direct shot at the Constitution when they do that. And when they do that, they're doing that to every American, including the
Tell
police,
us.
National
Tell us.
Guard, everybody.
Oh, what do you know about the
You don't
National
want to take
Guard?
on your own country. We're at that tipping point right now
Nothing.
between the
That's
U.S.
what.
citizens and our government where they're treading a very thin line.
Oh, the threats. Here they come.
A lot of people.
A lot of people
that are
what?
Way bigger than anybody else that is out here right now, including us.
So where is that happening? Like, where, for people who aren't aware of that, where would they feel it or know it?
Oh, they're not going to.
Huh?
They won't
What?
feel it.
They won't feel it.
Actually happen. When the government decides they want to cross that line, they'll find out.
Is that
And
a
you
threat?
think it's close?
Depends on how this election goes.
What if Donald Trump were to lose? Like, if he were to lose again, what would that mean?
This country would go to complete
The country will go to complete shit.
In
is what
predictive
he said.
analysis, like
predictive analysis, there's going to be a lot of riots everywhere again.
Riots. Okay.
I mean, you've
You're
got even
threatening
Joe Biden
violence
supporters.
because they can't stand democracy. That's it. The more your ideology is shit, the more you resort to violence to inflict it on people. Violence and fear. Like what Putin is doing. People just want to live their lives. They don't want to be fucking bothered by... They don't want to be hauled off to a gulag. So they don't protest. They just go through the day. You know, leave me out of it until it's too late. It takes a very special type of person to stand up to that kind of authoritarian and that kind of threat to your own personal, to your own existence. But I don't know. Like Navalny.
predictive analysis, like
Predictive analysis, there's going to be a lot of riots everywhere.
A lot of riots.
I mean, you've got even Joe Biden supporters turning their backs on him.
if the election result is the same
don't
as
know where
last
he's getting
time
that
and
from.
Joe Biden wins again and Donald Trump loses, your predictive
Again.
analysis is that there will be riots once again. And
Good.
There will be. I guarantee.
There will
would that
be.
mean
I
for the country?
guarantee it.
That would mean everybody's starting to see through the government's bullshit. Maybe we can all finally get together instead of being divided and let them know that
Yeah,
this is our
that's it.
country, not theirs.
This is our
do
country.
you
We'll
think
vote.
that Donald Trump was more of a uniter or a divider or not?
He was a uniter, 100%.
Wow. See?
Absolutely.
He said he's going to pardon all those who were convicted of felonies in January 6th. Do you support that?
Do I support the feds going in and wearing fake colors and saying that they were this and they were that?
Oh,
No, I don't.
right. It's all a
No,
fed.
I'm supporting the pardon I'm talking about.
We got guys locked
Oh, they're all feds. It was feds.
up in jail for no reason.
For no reason.
For no reason whatsoever.
Really?
The police.
So beating police with cattle prods, zapping them with cattle prods, beating them with their shields, squeezing them indoors, zip ties, you know, hitting them, beating them with flagpoles, sharpening your flagpoles into spears. That's all. It's all nothing. It's peaceful protesting to a fascist.
Walked everybody through there. Why are you putting people in jail when the police are walking people through there? They call them
Wow.
J6ers. They're not
Diseased
J6ers.
mind.
The people that incited all this and got people shot was our own feds. The FBI, CIA,
Yeah,
the
they
government
did their
plans.
duty.
That's what they are.
They should have complied. That dumb bitch, you know, Ashley Babbitt, a very sick person. Who fell for the con, like this idiot. I hope they riot. I really do. I mean, I hope nobody gets hurt. I don't care if they get hurt. They need to expose themselves, who they are. Don't worry. We'll find room for you in prison where you belong. That's really the truth. So, you can't handle if Donald Trump loses, when he loses again, because he will lose. If we all get out and vote, because he's a loser. Not only that, there's more of us. These people are in a bubble. They think everybody thinks like them. They're in a cult. They hang out with each other. They don't read actual anything true. They don't read real news. They don't see any other type of person but a dumbass like them. They hang out together. They feed each other. This circle jerk loop of lies stemming from Putin's freaking psyops machine. And so they think that they're a majority. And they're all like, everybody's being picked on. We're being picked on. It's the FBI. It's Antifa. It's Black Lives Matter. It's the deep state. Everybody's picking on Trump for not paying his taxes. He didn't pay his taxes, dummy. He's a cheat. He's a tax cheat. He had a company, and he cheated on his taxes. No one's above that's the Constitution that you're supposedly so wedded to, that you respect so much. And Donald Trump wasn't a divider. This is the other thing. These people, they live in an alternate universe. He wasn't a divider because they're living in a bubble, and in their bubble, when dividing people isn't attacking people because of their difference or the fact that they want to live an authentic life, or the divisiveness of the way he divided this country over COVID. It was too much to wear a piece of cloth over your face, wasn't it? That's too much patriotism. That's too much unity. That's not dividing people, right? But there's nobody more divisive than the con man and his cult, who is talking about civil war. This is the other thing that I hate about the Republicans, besides everything else, is that they and the lie saying that Donald Trump is this man of peace, that when he squatted in the White House, despite receiving fewer votes, it was utopia. It was peace everywhere. Peace. Well, first of all, that's absolutely not true. Even though, there's wars going on. We're involved in different wars. And we pulled out of Afghanistan according to a plan that Trump had put in place. This is an idiot that invited the Taliban to the White House and Camp David on September 11th, So there were wars going on when he squatted in the White House despite receiving fewer votes, and he was involved in them. Remember how he bragged that he killed Soleimani or whatever? Like, what was going on there? That's a war. And besides that, the other thing that gets me crazy about when they say he's a man of peace, he brought peace. Look what he's done to this country. These are idiots talking about civil war, threatening civil war, threatening violence if the con man loses again, and when he loses again. So that's not a man of peace. This is somebody that is tearing this country apart as we speak because of his bottomless greed and need to have a fucking tacky hotel in Moscow, to be Putin's bitch. The man who said, "Can Putin be my best friend?" on Twitter. The one who met with Putin behind closed doors without any Americans there, and then confiscated the transcript. Well, what were they talking about? The one who accepted Putin's help in his campaign, who handed information to Putin, to the Russians, so they could micro-target Trumpanzees here in America. This is somebody that is currently tearing this country apart. Tearing it apart on every fissure of disunity, along racial lines, along lines of gender identity, gays, straights, women, men. They think this is, but it's opposite day, because they say this is what liberals are doing. They're dividing, because when women want to have an autonomous control over their bodies, that's divisive to them, because they want to control. They don't like it. Instead, I don't like what they do. I don't like that they have 19 kids and counting. I don't like that they teach their kids that the earth is 5,000 years old. But you don't see liberals passing laws saying that they can't do that. Right? But they pass laws to say what we could say. They pass laws to tell you that when a woman goes to a doctor and they're pregnant or they're seeking services, they have to listen to some fucking diatribe about the heartbeat and fetal pain and all this shit. And they even have to, in some laws that the Republicans have passed, require women to undergo this is probably it's probably completely illegal now, because they've sent women to back alleys, but they force women to have an unnecessary internal ultrasound in numerous states, meaning they are literally raping you. They force women to undergo rape by instrumentation to have choice. Of course, now that's all out the window when they've sent women to back alleys, even though criminalizing abortion doesn't reduce the abortion rate. It only harms women. So, but everything else that they do is harms women, harms babies, harms every facet of society. If you want a successful society, there's no where. Show me a conservative society that's successful, right? Where people are happy and free. Of course, according to Tucker Carlson, this country, we're not successful. Because there's somebody peed in the subway, so that means we all have to give up our freedoms, right? That the beatings will continue until morale improves, and you'll love freedom. You'll be free within the parameters that they set for you. That's what they mean. Like in fascism, like the famous book "They Thought They Were Free" by Milton Mayer. Yeah, you were free in Nazi Germany if you fit into certain demographic groups and you complied. You're free within those tight constraints. And in return, like Mussolini, he had the trains were on time. So for that low price, you give everything else up. Turn people against each other. This is and what Trump is promising with this Project 2025 is they're not kidding around. They're outright talking about it. Hold on. And we should be terrified. The propaganda videos, what we witnessed with Tucker Carlson going to Russia and jerking off on a bunch of bread, is the way that the propagandas, the billionaires who own the right-wing propaganda machines, get their dupes ready. They prime them, to accept that, this is freedom. Everything else sucks. But the fact is that, the Republicans, this is why I can't stand them. They complain about the infrastructure of America, but they did nothing about it, right? Joe Biden passed the infrastructure bill. We had to, it was a laugh line. We had to watch the whole world go around on bullet trains while we were stuck in the 40s, while the Republicans stood in the way of funding for revitalization of our infrastructure. The infrastructure literally crumbling. From some of the bridges and the infrastructure and whatnot were from the New Deal. Another progressive president. But the Republicans, they don't want to spend any money because that might mean the rich will have to pay their fair share. Do you see what they're doing? They want to create a serfs and lords society again. And you'll get infrastructure if you find some rich benefactor that might want to, donate, or maybe they'll fix your bridge or something. But the rest of it, you're on your own, booby. You're on your own. It's terrifying, the vision that they have for this country. And it certainly isn't anywhere in the Constitution that they continuously say nobody respects. Right? Nobody respects but them. Nobody respects the Constitution but the people overturning the Constitution, the people lying to you about an election. They respect the Constitution. The ones who are ensuring that you have to undergo a forced birth if you get pregnant. You might have to carry your dead fetus because nobody wants to touch you because they don't want to go to jail. And maybe you'll get sepsis. Maybe you'll not be able to have a child after that. Maybe you'll have to flee the state if you have the funds. Not everybody can. It's absolutely disgusting. And here's Trump he makes me want to puke, of course.
I'll tell you what, I don't mind being Nelson Mandela because I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for a reason.
You're doing it?
I'm doing it for a reason. We got to save our country from these fascists, these lunatics that we're dealing with. They're horrible people.
If you appeal, you got to put up escrow money. That's it's a lot of dough.
It is a form of Navalny. It is a form of communism or fascism. Navalny is a very sad situation, and he's very brave. He was a very brave guy. It's a horrible thing, but it's happening in our country too. We are turning into a communist country in many ways, and if you look at it, I'm the leading candidate. I get indicted. I never heard of being indicted before.
You never heard of being indicted before.
Saved yourself a lot of trouble.
First of all, I didn't have to hand him over.
Oh, yeah, here. It's just lie after lie.
Why didn't you just hand him over when they were requested, though? I mean, they requested him. You could have just handed him over. Probably saved yourself a lot of trouble.
First of all, I didn't have to hand him over. But second of all, I would have done that. We were talking, and then all of a sudden they raided Mar-a-Lago. Do you remember? They said, could you put an extra lock on the door? We showed them where they were. We showed them.
Lie. We put an extra lock. He's trying to confuse the assholes who worship him like a false idol. He's confusing them because what he did was change the locks and hope that nobody could get in. And he moved these classified documents, and they asked him to return them for, I think, near 2 years. And he did nothing but move them and hide them, and so he's a danger. And the fact that he says I didn't have to return them. This is mine, is a lie, of course, because he's talking, I got the Presidential Records Act. I got, Article 2. He throws these fucking things out there because he's a dullard and a dumbass, and the idiots don't ever challenge him. It's sort of like Fox News is like a non-stop Tucker Carlson Putin interview. But he's full of shit because the Presidential Records Act was put in place after Nixon. So, and it specifically says that these are not your records, dum-dum. Even your love letters to Kim Jong-un are not yours. They belong to the American people. They belong to the American archives. So it's not you, scummy. They're not your papers, your classified papers that you could take to your meeting with the Saudis, to sweeten the pot when you're negotiating some golf deal with America's enemies. Liars. And of course, Laura Ingraham, or whatever goddamn name, she knows this too. But she is like Tucker and Putin. It's a whole channel of Tucker and Putin. I don't know what they get out of it. How this propaganda channel has to pay billions of dollars for this guy. He thinks he's Navalny. I know, right? Haiku says, it's disgraceful. He's Navalny. He is? If Alexei Navalny was a grifter who fillets Putin and does everything in his power to prop Putin up and never question Putin, that never challenge him and agrees with everything he does and genuflect to the authoritarian, that's, you can only call yourself Navalny if that's who he was. Oh, very brave. Very, very brave. Unlike you. Unlike the con man who hates this country, who hates the Constitution, has no respect for anyone who ever wore the uniform of this country, who made the ultimate sacrifice. They're dumbasses. What's in it for them? This is the guy that when his country called him to come to its aid, to serve, his feet hurt. His little feeties hurt. Scum. Absolute scum. They're all in different levels of delusion. You have the cult, and then you have average assholes that are like, yeah, I'm a Republican. I'm going to vote for him. Shame on you. Shame on all of them. They're all in league with a traitor and in league with a traitorous party of traitors who repeat Russian talking points as if it's came right out of the GOP fax machine. They came every morning. They would send around the talking points. It might as well come straight from the Kremlin, because there's no difference. Republicans are spreading talking points of the Putin. He's Nelson Mandela, guys. He said he's everything, actually. Anything. He said he was Lincoln. He said he's Nelson Mandela. He's Navalny. He's also, I think he said he was Elton John another time. And everything's perfect. He's incredibly perfect. The level of stupidity is beyond comprehension. Really. Here's some more MAGA morons.
President Trump is the best president we ever have in American history, on his way to become the world's greatest leader the world ever seen before.
I understand him. It's not him being a jerk. He's sarcastic. He's funny. And I love him. I do. I love him.
We need him. He's a Christian. He's a good, honest man. They're after him for no reason.
Stupid. No reason except, rape and being a traitor and instigating a coup and trying to steal an election. He's a traitor. I mean, he's a good man. He's only threatening violence. He's just forget the mass graves. He loves Jesus. Why would he love Jesus? He hates veterans. He hates those who made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. Why would he love Jesus? Who went to his death? Who just was like, all right, I'm being crucified. He didn't fight back. Why would he love Jesus? It's incredible. Yes, he's just like Jesus, how Jesus threatens violence. And the other thing, that even in that interview we saw, these are communists, these are fascists, these are everything that, whatever. The words have no meaning. Words are nothing anymore. Reality doesn't matter. Here's some more. Here, I'm sure you heard, because the Republicans, they've been instructed by their dim leader to impeach Biden, even though they can't find anything. So they're making shit up, and they got some FBI so-called informant, but some informant that was now arrested because he's admitted to simply getting his talking points or getting whatever he's been telling the Republicans straight from the Kremlin. It's another PSYOPs disinformation campaign. And Republicans, for months, they've been propping this guy up.
House Oversight Chairman James Comer says he and his colleagues plan to drop a bombshell.
It's going to be Judgment Day tomorrow for the White House.
You have the confidential FBI informant who's basically saying that Joe Biden took $5 million from Burisma.
The informant was a highly valued human source for the FBI.
A trusted, highly credible informant.
A trusted, confidential informant.
Don't you love the way they have to? It's sort of like how Trump has to say he's a successful businessman constantly, because we don't have any actual evidence of it, but this is it's the greatest. It'll make your teeth white. It'll give you cure your erectile dysfunction. It cures male pattern baldness. It does everything. It could substitute as a floor wax if you needed to. It's everything that you ever needed. Like, this guy is completely, no kidding, totally credible.
They had a credible source, one of their good sources.
Their most credible paid FBI. Is that what they were told in their MAGA moron meetings? Credible? Or their Russian disinformation seminars, I guess, that when they go to Moscow, they met with, what happened when, what's his name? Rand Paul, in fact, during the Traitor Trump presidency, flew to Moscow to give Putin something that Trump didn't trust anybody else with. And that went down the memory hole. What the fuck was that? Right? That actually happened, too. No, nothing to see here. What do you think could have been there? What's in the transcript? I want to see the transcript.
We have determined the whistleblower is extremely credible.
The details come from an FBI informant who is very trusted.
A highly reliable informant that has always checked out all the information he's ever given us has checked out.
A confidential human source that had been reliable previously to the FBI. A confidential human source gave credible information. This FD 1023 is damning. I do a podcast 3 days a week, Verdict with Ted Cruz. The podcast has gone into...
Join me. He can do a podcast. I can barely do 2 fucking days. Excuse my language, but...
...is damning. I do a podcast 3 days a week, Verdict with Ted Cruz.
The Verdict with Ted Cruz. You're a senator. How do you do a podcast? No, you're not a senator. You're a goddamn parasite. That's who he is. He likes his cushy, phony, baloney salary and all the perks. They're all like, Mr. Cruz, come on my show and spread those Putin talking points.
Podcast has gone into the details.
This is a very crucial piece of our investigation.
From a very credible source. They're so credible. He's credible, totally 100% credible. Oh, I hate these people. But they are... Yeah, it's really sad. I wish it was merely sad. It's almost like you can't find the words to figure it out. I don't understand it. I don't understand how anyone could be that stupid. But let me reassure everybody that that we're the majority. That's all. And what time is it? All right. How many hours how long has this show been on? Oh, yeah, almost 2 hours. It's a little over 2 hours. I guess, you know what? Let's keep it short. I got more stuff on the list here, but we'll talk about it on Friday. If I start another thing, we'll be here another hour. And I see that people are like, good night, see you later. So people are bouncing. It's getting tired. We're getting tired here. It's been a long day living in the United States of serfs and lords, listening to a traitor, Trump, and his cult of morons try to destroy this country. It gets exhausting. But I want to remind everybody that they're the majority. I mean, they're the minority. And 2 hours and 11 minutes. Okay. What's the premiere tomorrow? There's a premiere. Oh, it's probably a short that Hernan made. I gave him access to the channel and he's posting. Isn't that good? I'm so fortunate. Thank you, Hernan. This channel doesn't make any money except the money you donate to keep it going, and he's not getting paid, so he's doing it to help grow the channel, and he's not even an American. Okay. He, like others in the globe, they watch this country with a sense of fear, dread, astonishment. And it's interesting. It's sort of like our JD from over in England, the lucky bastard. And people are watching. That's all. That's why it's very disgraceful what the Republicans are up to. The way that they knock this country all the time. All the time. They just never stop beating this country up. They hate this country, but yeah, that's why I have to remind everybody and remind the Democrats and the Republicans, if you're a regular Republican, you think you're not. You're not a regular. There's this is a corpse of a party. If you're still a Republican, you're in league with traitors. I always thought so, even before it got this bad, because I was like, well, if you're voting with a party endorsed by the KKK and David Duke and the American Nazi Party, doesn't that say something? Wouldn't that be kind of like a turnoff? It would be for me. I don't know. I never understood it. And I always considered, if I knew people who voted Republican, I always considered it a personal attack, frankly, because of all their anti-gay and just anti-everything, anti-human, anti-American. All right, guys, it's been a long day, but we have Friday. We'll have another show on Friday at 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He came into the chat? No, I didn't see that. Haiku. I wonder what time it is in Brazil. Huh. Let's see. I did not see. Hernan. Oh, what am I looking up Hernan? What time is it in Brazil? It's 1:12 a.m. in Brazil. Okay, it might be late. It might be tired. That's very nice. See? That's Mike Malloy. He did that for me. He sent Hernan my way. My mentor, Mike Malloy. My dude. My friend. All right. My idol. Guys, thank you for hanging out. If you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. I know we got a couple of new patrons. I want to thank you guys. And if you would like a mug, anybody, if you're a person who's been supporting the channel for a long time and you've never received a mug or anything from the Tarabuster merch store, let me know, man. I'll send it to you as a thank you for your dedication and just being here for me and with me. I can't do it without you. So send me an email at tarabustermedia@gmail.com and let me know. Do you want a mug? You want something else that's in the merch store? You could pick something out, whatever. I mean, I get to you do have to pay for it, but I get it at cost. So, it's a little cheaper through my own store, but anyway, because everything's made to order, it goes through you have to sign up. You know how it is. You sign up with like drop shipping that does fucking mugs. All right. Whatever. Guys, thank you for hanging out. And thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. What would I do without you, too? Jesus Christ. For my mental health, too. And for your compassion. That helps. Yeah, we're not alone. The donations to the community cats mean a lot, because it gets lonely out there. I read something that people who work for animal rescues have a high rate of depression. Makes sense to me. So we need a lot of help, this world. All right, guys, I love you all. I even love the right-wingers, in a way. I know I say I hate them, but I mean, they're frustrating. I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm trying to get them help. trying to get them health care, living wages, retirement security, education. Right? That's it. Listen, we will win. We will win. I don't know. It's hard to hang up sometimes. Like, you hang up. No, you hang up. All right. I love you. We will win. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together. We win. Thank you, Haiku, for being a moderator. Thank you, Jim, for being a moderator. And Jim and Ed and Cherry for your super chats. And everyone else. My name is Tara Devlin. And I'll see you on Friday night, 8:30-ish p.m. See you soon. Stay safe.